If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Bitcoin's crashing, I'm a hot mess, oh no. Tears flood my room, my wallet's saying whoa. Candles flicker, I'm screaming in despair. Daddy, save me, pull me from this nightmare. Hands are shaking, hearts in the floor. Parrot squawks, so you dumb bitch. Hold me tight, hold me tight. Stop my crypto cry. Daddy, rush in, don't let me die. Hold me, daddy. Bitcoin's falling down. Wrap me up, turn my frown to a crown. Kiss my tears, let the market play. Hold me, daddy, we're dancing to DeFi. Ooh, hold me, daddy. Ooh, save my play. Price hit rock bottom. I tripped on my chart. Booyah hugs better than a bull's restart. Oh, rats laughing. You're broke, oh my. Daddy, your love's my financial high. Hands are shaking, hearts in the floor. Parrot squawks. Sell you big dope. You'll be tight. Hold me tight. Stop my crypto cry. Daddy, rush in, don't let die. Hold me, daddy. Bitcoin's falling down. Wrap me up. Turn my frown to a crown. Kiss my tears. Let the market play. Hold me, daddy. We're dancing today. Ooh, for me, daddy. Ooh, save my play. Oh, you scoop me up, laugh at my tears. Bar a joint and buy my tears. Your kiss resets my trading game. Daddy, you're my profit flame. Hold me, daddy. Bitcoin's falling down. Wrap me up, turn my frown to a crown. Kiss my tears, let the market play. Hold me, daddy, we're dancing today. Ooh, hold me, daddy. Ooh, save my play. Hold me, daddy, through the crashing night. Bitcoin dips, but we're feeling alright. Dance me up, my sexy delight. Screen lights up, hearts beating fast. Market dip, slow phone wasn't my grasp. Supports my line, but greed pulls me near. Chasing that win, ignoring my fear. Fingers itch to short, but the chart says wait. Fear and fight clash, sealing my fate. Gonna break free, rise with the flow. Singing loud, let the rhythm grow. Don't short support now, hold it tight. Price will bounce, we're taking flight. Stand your ground, let the bulls take charge. Don't short support, we're stealing the stars. Don't short support, feel the power soar.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for the introductory ceremony.
crash has left me in the dust. Learned my
The ringing of the cowbell.
my rock, I read the signs, but
Grab your ding-a-ling, give it a fling. It'll make you happy, it'll make you sing.
break free with the fall. Singing loud at the river. Don't
The ding-a-ling has spoken, the cowbell has rung. Now it's time to have our fun.
we're taking flight. Stand your ground, let the bulls take charge. Don't show
If this is your first journey to our channel here at Road Dog Crypto, well, this is a forewarning to you that you will encounter a talking turkey and possibly a voodoo doll. You've been forewarned.
feel up.
Please keep your hands on the ride at all times. We're ready to go. Crank her up.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Welcome to Road Dog Crypto, late night crypto with Road Dog. Glad to have you here. I feel a little off my game. My monitor, my big TV thing up here is not working. I couldn't find the freaking remote. So I'm down a monitor and I having to kind of do here between the two that I have. And this little makeshift tablet kind of keeps me up to date on chat. I don't know. I got chat everywhere so I can try to keep up with you guys. Let me say hello to all you guys. How's it going, people? This market be crazy right now. We will talk about that here in just a second. Let's see if we can get our groove on, our vibe, right? Say hello to everybody. I see Soul. How's it going, Soul? Duality C. Shout out to Floki's Angels. Hey, dog, I love your show. I love it, comment. Love you. Oh, missed you guys. You got there off. Floki's Angels, good to see you again. Hey, Chris Klein. Been a minute. I understand life happens. Can't be here all the time. I appreciate you for the what time that you do spend with me. Sometimes people do come and go. That's part of this whole crypto thing here and even in the Telegram group and all that. But I do appreciate each and every one of you that spend your time here with me, and hopefully I got something of value to offer you. Yeah, something that can open some insight on for some of you that are trying to learn some of this stuff. I try to make it easy to. I hope that I give you things that you can learn and apply yourself, as well as just as a general look at the market. Just to hang out with some cool guys and share some cool alpha. That's what we try to do here at this channel. Joe from Trade Intuition, fellow YouTuber, go check him out. Oh man, did I mess this up? I'm on Joe. Hit the button. There we go. So we got these two channels over here. One is the music channel. Why is this sound off? Is that too loud? I've been messing with my microphone. I might be a little off my game here. Okay. I'm going to turn that down just a tad. The music channel over here, Trade Intuition Topic, and then his main channel over here. He puts out the alpha every day. Go check him out. You need variety here, and you need some good sources, not just trying to grift you and reel you in and give you some little very, very basic strategy just to keep repeating over and over. You need something with some good alpha so you get a good foundation. And there's so many YouTubers out here, and Meet Damien is another one. And I would have figured you would have been over here. Okay. Meet, just one word, I believe. Brings it up. Yes. No, 2 words. Okay, is it? Ah, gosh. So Meet Damien. Why? That should be over here. I need to do all these links and stuff. I really do. Another YouTuber, go check him out. Get some alpha from other places, spread it around. What we're doing, what you need to do if you're trying to learn this game, you do need alpha from several places, and you're putting together. You're at Denny's at the salad bar is what you're doing, okay? And you're picking out what you want to eat. Not all of it's going to work for you, okay, honey? And some of it's going to taste good to you, and some of it's going to be like, that's no. And you're picking the things that work for you, and you get your own little system together. That's what I did. For me, it came out to be, and you got your foundations, support, resistance, your trend lines. Joe goes over all that better than anybody I know. You got, and then you builds off of that. Maybe add some indicators that kind of help you out. You have a jam or something. kind of learned how to read some of these things. Moving averages work for me. Fibonacci has been, that one's just been the rabbit hole that's been, it's just kept on giving. And of course, patterns, trend lines, and the patterns come along with the trend lines, in my interpretation, or in my view. But you're grabbing what works from somebody, and maybe somebody explains it better than somebody else. Maybe somebody shows you a little bit more than something else. Maybe somebody just wants to put everything in the flag to the upside. Not only it works in a bullish market, ladies and gentlemen, you got to have more than that. Some people short support. I saw that happen this morning as Bitcoin was coming down here. Shorting support, not waiting for confirmation, not waiting for it to break. Just nope. Because I know what I'm doing, and that didn't work out too well. I'm sad to say for that particular guru. It was right down here. Oh, it was somewhere right around 11 o'clockish. There, the guru decided to do a short. And what's interesting is that, a lot of people would consider it, I could see, but instead of shorting, like trying to get the lower low or something like that, like, hey, price came up here, it was like, no, we're down here at the very bottom. You got red candles. That prompted me to do a little song, and you heard it in the intro, but that's emotions talking to you, okay? You got to keep this in mind. When most people, that's retail, that's us, because I feel it too. When the price is coming down and it keeps coming down, and we're not going up, and it comes down and it keeps, you think I should short. That's what's naturally going to come over to you. But what you need to look for is where those areas of support might be, and that's what we were doing. We're just coming right back down to this area of support that's held, and it's depending on what chart we're looking at. I got a Fibonacci line. That's what I'm looking at. Some people might have some little fuzzy ears, but I don't. We started coming back down, and that's when people start wanting to short. But we're shorted support, baby. But that was, I found that kind of interesting, because this is a particular guru. I'm not going to mention any names, but we'll just talk about the situation that was kind of interesting, because I watched this guy I just skim through and find the live trading. There's no need to look at other TA, because it's all the same thing. Everything's always a flag to the upside, or in some kind of little thing to the upside. But they went short here with a nice big target down here. And then it started coming up, and of course, well, they ended up getting out of that little guy. But this would have been a much better place to have shorted, when it couldn't have come back up to make that higher high. Just in my personal opinion, if I were going to take a short, a scalp short, something like that, that's the kind of the things that's where your best luck is at, and your best sign to get in. But emotion is what will trigger you to want to do it here. I just got to make that clear. This takes patience and waiting and things that emotions don't like to jam with, okay? And so that's one thing that kind of separates your grifters from the people maybe with just a little bit more of actual experience or something. I don't know how to explain that. The grifters, as long as you're clicking and you're good, somehow they're getting money from you, they're pretty dang happy, okay? But that was kind of that was a weak trade setup and everything that happened there. I'm not going to run through the dirt, but the short down here, and then when it broke that area, I was like, well, maybe there might be some legs, but they were already out of this trade by then. They didn't give it a chance. They weren't convinced on their own setup, is what I'm trying to get across. They were not convinced on their own setup. They went crazy amount of money, but they weren't convinced enough to actually wait for their stop losses. Or to even, I don't know. Anyway, we came down and then we bounced right back up, because this is support. You don't short support, because that's where bulls come in, and then you can get this kind of thing. The smartest thing would be to have your line in the sand and then wait for a bearish, if you wanted to break your support first, and then look at maybe shorting a retest. I mean, and even that's risky as F, because that's almost like buying the tops, shorting the bottoms. But after they break a level, then you get confirmations. This dude didn't wait for any confirmations. It's just I'm in, I know what I'm doing. You should follow me, do what I do. Who's in this with me? And then he was out and didn't even tell anybody. And that was kind of crazy. Leave them hanging, baby. Leave them hanging. All right, so I'm here on the 5-minute. I like the 6-minute though. Chart for Bitcoin. And after she bounced off of this Fibonacci area one more time, starting to make a series of higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frames. Also looking better on the bigger time frames. That's really where we need to be. But hey, man, I watched this on smaller time frames. Here's an idea we were kind of looking at, following these trend lines here. Megaphone pattern, retest, and deep ass retest, man. This Fibonacci area, or this red line, is pulled from another area. That's the main area I'm looking for, man. I want this. This is actually, I think, is down here. Is that right? Yes. This 103,300 area, that's the main area that I'm looking for holding. That's my one. And look what we've been doing. I mean, I know we broke trend lines. This is a weak ass trend line that I'm following here. I didn't even have a chance to get back in it. We lost our main trend line way over here, man. That was the first sign. Hey, things are about to change, people. And of course they do, and as we go along, and we try to say, we'll see what we'll do. If we hop around, I mean, the smartest thing would have been, to exit a lot of positions there, or go short. And some of those shorts played out. But all we're doing after this big run up is consolidating, and that happens a lot before a big ass move. And this red line is important to me because it's a rare place, but we're at the point where it could tick off if we bounce from here. And I keep saying this, I want to keep driving this home. But this is what I want to see. I want to see us actually working on bouncing over here, because we could do a lot of tricks and things and end up down here, But so far, it's been very impressively holding. What I'm trying to say, it's rare to get a big bounce off of here, but when you do, it's a big one. It's a strong one. And we're overdue for that big parabolic move out of Bitcoin. So this is a point where they would definitely love to fake you out, make you miss that big move, or get in very late so that they can even work on shaking you out. Because if you were to come in and wait for, wait till it gets 116,000, you can do that, and that makes you feel a little bit more safer. But they're going to still play the games on those people, and they're going to go up, they're going to shake them out. Okay. So in my personal opinion, if you ain't DCAing into Bitcoin right now, you really needs to. Out of all the altcoins, out of all the crypto out there, take the hint from the big money who are just going hand over fist trying to get this damn thing. Okay, they know something. They finally came to realize what everybody early in this space back in 2012, or even back in 2009, realized that, oh crap, Bitcoin's going to change the freaking world. It's going to disrupt a lot of crap, because they can't get around it. They didn't have no good way to send payments. Remember, you had to wait almost 2 to 3 weeks for a freaking money to be sent from one country to another. Have to wait for things to clear. It is a freaking headache. Still is. A lot less now than what it was, thanks to blockchain technology. It's had a they lit a fire under them to make some changes in their legacy system to speed things up. They're coming over to our sides. That stablecoin bill, man, that's going to be a big thing. I'm just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we take a look at this market? I've got a list of altcoins right here that look kind of interesting to take a look at, since altcoins are feeling like they're dead again. But I think there's some good signs here for altcoins. Not the best signs, but some favorable signs. It's better than bad news. And that's what I'm going to share with you, because to me, altcoins, total 3 represents altcoins for us. We find in support, we still made a higher low than what we made over here, kind of played with this one. So they're playing with us, and it's shaky. I'm not saying they're ready to rock and roll, but they are at what I consider to be the bottom of their little range here, meaning that they need to start heading their asses up again. And they need to come up and do a higher high. I don't know that they will. So we'll draw a trend line, and we got to see, because they will probably come up a little bit and then maybe stumble. Maybe we do something like that. I don't know. More than likely, I'm kind of leaning with that. with all the turbulence that we got going on here with the moving averages. I read these moving averages, and I use about 8 of them. I used to just use 5, but I read them like you would read air currents or water currents. That's what they're like. The bigger ones are kind of the bigger momentum of the stuff, and the smaller ones are all the little stuff that has all the little leaves and the bugs going, oh, I'm drowning. We don't want to be those bugs caught up in the small ones. I want to see the big moves here. I'll be riding that be on that big old raft with that big old sail. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, we're at the bottom here, coming around the bend, and my screen went totally blank. Hey, that was the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with. Oh, are we back? Commercial break, Sean. Do we have a commercial break? We don't have. We can engineer one, but we're not going to do that to you people. Total 3 here on the 4 hour. I got a 200 moving average coming over here, and it's this yellow line touching this 618 Fibonacci. And that sounds like a bunch of jargon to you guys, but all I can tell you, if you've been hanging around with me and picking up on what I've been putting down, that's a good sign, I believe. It's kind of pointing us to a little hope to try to at least move in that direction. Try to get up there. Now, by the time price meets that 200 moving average, she may well be somewhere down here. May even be working on a bearish cross at that point. I don't know. But for all of you people that are kind of down in altcoins, looks like there's going to be a little bit of a move. I don't know. At least up to here, and then maybe we see what happens. Okay, but we're going in the summer. It's not fun. It ain't fun. It's going to be turbulent. Even these moving averages are saying, man, it's going to be turbulent. We got a mix of good stuff and bad stuff, such as life. But the biggest thing is, it's slowly happening, and we're finding some support. So far, this trend line's holding. Moving averages are holding. Some good crosses. We can get some relief. I would view it as relief. And if you're down, you can take advantage of that. And then the next time she comes back down, you got a little bit more dry powder or collateral to kind of put back in and build these bags at lower prices as they keep their little fluctuations over the summer, I think. This fall looks like it's really going to start shaping up for altcoins, or the best that we got. And sucks that we got to wait that long, because Christmas was the gift, and you think, oh man, we'll probably get another one somewhere, get over the pump. And then that was it. And it's been hard for me to actually take profits the way that I really should, because you still think that there's still something else coming, or you don't think it's going to be another 9 months away before you get back to where you were before with altcoins. Seems to be what we're going through, and it kind of sucks right now, right? I wonder. I think the sentiment on altcoins is going to change a lot, and I think that's, from what I can tell, a lot of people are having that same epiphany, right? And it's like, so next cycle, the people in the smart, their altcoins may not do jack crap for a while after, in our bear market, man. People are just like, no, I don't want them. They suck. Get in now? Hell no. I think a lot of people have woken up to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at some of these little guys here, and I'm going to put my marker up right there, and let me come over to the chat. So got my marker up right there. Submit your coin request for live analysis. Priority goes to members and super chats. And we're switching in between that and probably some of the ones I've got on here that are. See if we can find anything that's worth looking at. There might be some kind of trade setup. Meet Damon says T8 on SWE. Let's go take a look at SWE. Well. There we go. How about MEXC? Let me zoom out a little bit on SWE. See what the daily's looking like over here. What was that? Oh, that was I believe that was. Is that a measure move from head and shoulder? I need to put my little notes on these things. I think that was. No, that's no head and shoulder. I'm trying to figure out this. That's the bad thing about putting a measurement move before they actually happen. Because obviously that one does not belong there. So I can see where a lot of people would see a head and shoulders here. Some people might. Well, that would be fresh look at it, and that could be valid. The shoulders are less than that one, so ticks the box for me. You can also see a local pattern forming here, which is actually a bullish pattern. Biggest thing I'm looking at is the trend lines, which a little janky there, but hey, we got some touches. So it's valid, secondary trend line, and that seems to be what we're testing now. I'm just going over, I'm familiarizing myself. So we went up on our 3 humps, and then we get our correction, and I also see this mostly as an ABC correction. I'm not an Elliott Wave person, but that ABC correction thing's a real thing, so I look for that. And that's kind of what she looks like. So and I think we just got to be aware that there's a good chance that this thing might 786 out. I hope that it does not. We're at a 618 Fibonacci. This is a good place for it to bounce. That fits well with this pattern idea. Maybe we kind of go sideways here, level out, and then it breaks out. It's typically what we look for there. I mean, we look to see. The 618 is also testing this area of resistance, so possible support resistance flip. Can't pick anything better than the 618 for a resistance flip in my personal opinion. Let's do it. That would be a great place if we do catch some traction here, and then we could see this area about 427 come into the picture, and maybe even up to $5. Actually, 527 is what I would be looking for. Just a little lower than here, where we were before, if we were to bounce off that area. But I've got to say, man, depending on what happens in the market, what happens in the world, could we see we can definitely keep in the back part of our mind, just hey man, keep our eyes on this area back here. Backup plan. This is our backup plan. I would recommend it that way. And that's that wee possible. Oh, come on now. That's a wee possibility of coming right down here to about 227. Not too bad from where we are. We're at 281. It would suck. We'd be breaking some rules, but let's put that on the back burner as the cautious idea there. I thought we got rid of you. And I need to color code this one so I remember what I got. Okay, cool. So I would love to see it, and it can. I believe that it can. Yeah, I believe that it has a good chance of trying to hold, and that maybe 270 might be the lowest. She can come down and touch that area again. She can. Let's come down to the 4 hour and see what we're looking like over here. You trying to come back down to it? Got some bearish crosses going on right there. It might mean that she might be coming down the test. Let's see if we can hold 271 somewhere around this trend line area. Maybe make a higher low if that happens. But there's some turbulence that she'd be working through over the next, what are we on, the 4 hour? We're coming into the weekend. So when altcoins, I mean, it's this market be crazy, but they're flipping it up a little bit. They're trying to mix it up a little bit, and things are shifting just a wee bit. And tomorrow is going to be Friday. And they'll take us into the weekend with low liquidity, and here in the summer with low liquidity. Meaning not many people out there says, I'm going to throw all my money in crypto right now. Because most people are saying, oh man, I got to pay for the hotel. I got to pay for the gas. We got to drive. We got to fly. We got this. We got that. Oh crap. You know, she goes shopping. I got to flip the bill for, or I don't know. There are expenses, and then there's those hidden expenses, and then those emergency expenses, and those, oh my god, and then there's I just need a break expense, man. I'm getting away from everybody. I'm going to the desert, 40 days, man. All right, a lot of expenses going on, and then a lot of things going up with the oil prices, so that's going to be fun. I think I was looking to see if I had any liquidity I could put in the market for oil. And I feel a little bit late in doing it. But man, all the cool stuff, some of those commodities are rocking. Precious metals, including platinum. Platinum is still not at a bad price, I'm telling you. From my experience in the jewelry business, platinum is still at a gosh darn cheap price. That stuff can get close to $3,000 an ounce, man. Rhodium is the real rhodium. Rhodium, man. They can only mine that certain times with platinum as kind of a byproduct. That one gets scarce, and that one can go anywhere from like $800. I remember it was a steal if you could buy it at like $800 an ounce. That stuff gets up to like $3,000 an ounce, and it'll just flip. Like all of a sudden, you know, because there's just sudden demand. They have to have it in the jewelry business. That's what makes your white gold all white and shiny, baby. That rhodium plating. Alrighty, so we're sitting here looking at Sui. And she's just been kind of lackluster. This one's probably a good one to be in. I've got a little bag of it. I used to have a bigger bag of it and kind of got out of it as she went up a little bit and never got back into it as good. It was really cool to be in it under $1, but that's damn cool. See it at $4 too. Kind of like XRP after they go up and everything. You're kind of like, don't know if I want to really build a big bag of you anymore. Sui, though, I think I want to take a look at the tokenomics on Sui. Hey, look. Okay, well, no, oh, shows. No, we're okay. We're back in business. Clearly, I've got issues going on here. I do want to familiarize myself with the Sui. $9.5 billion market cap. That's crazy to think about, isn't it? Layer 2 or a layer 1 POS proof of stake. 10 billion maximum supply, which is stupidly enormous. And the fact that it's at $2.80, I'm still saying. So there's a lot of belief or a lot of hype behind here. Well, the circulating supply is 3 billion. There's going to be a lot more billions just gradually coming out. So that's one thing that I'm looking at. At some point, this thing is going to slow down. I think we already started seeing it slow down. Those big maximum supply coins, those big supply coins, man. I mean, they get to where they move slow, and the reason that we kind of like crypto, or a lot of people like crypto, is because it moves faster than stocks, right? Supposedly, although you can't say that about altcoins because they're so freaking oversaturated with big ass coins, with projects with big ass, with too many damn coins. This market, too much. So to me, Sui, I think it can definitely go up. Because people are going to like it, and it will get more adoption as they build on the chain. It's definitely a good one to be in, but to me, I think, you know, some of these at this point, it's a DCA pure, mostly. There might be some good trades there, but you know, and maybe that's a good thing for trading. You know, something that moves a little bit more smoother or something, you know, and then can get some decent little runs out of it. So not bad. No, I'm not trying to diss it or anything, but if you're holding it, it's going to come to a point where she just kind of gunks up and doesn't do much for months and months at a time. Or there's faster movers and faster horses is what I'm trying to say on some things. So when I do take a look at this, and I am trying to evaluate what she needs to do and everything, I'm always looking at that 236 as a measuring rod there. That's coming about 305. Definitely want to see her break that and start heading to about 328. Now 328 would be about the top of that trend line there. So to me, that makes a good little shorter term target to shoot for. 427 being a bigger target. Well, we can get there. Might take it a while. Might be. Well, they might already have the Christmas decorations already out in the stores, which, what's that going to be? How many more weeks is that? Not many. By the time that happens. I don't. As you can tell, I don't see a lot of momentum for altcoins during these summer months, but there is some momentum, so we can get some, we're at a bottom. We can get some relief, but that may be all it is for a while. I mean, even with Sui, to be honest with you, I could see us coming up here, and I can see us coming right back down and kind of testing and ranging through here before we finally do something. And what we would hope to see is that, you know, maybe she come up here and then blast off to the upside. That's what we'd love to see, but that ain't always what we get, right? And these moving averages are saying, not quite there yet, baby. Not quite there yet, baby. They saying, yeah, sideways. So one of the things to keep in mind, and I don't think I have it on here, is the sequence of how money flows in crypto. That's not changing, I don't think. Money will still go from Bitcoin, or I would say money and attention. I think attention, even if the money is not the main thing, there will still be that attention and game plan. The layer ones, the other layer ones other than Bitcoin, Litecoin. I know it sounds crazy, but look at Bitcoin Cash, BCH. You're saying, what? Look at Bitcoin Cash. That's crazy. Well, she hit $500 today from where she was down here the beginning of the month, 380. Nobody wanted it. Everybody thought everything was dying, except for here on the 4 hour. Look at these moving averages here, man. Full on ribbon flip. Bullish AF. Doesn't mean she won't come back down. Can't come back to $400 at all. It can. Even down here, but the momentum has just officially flipped on this time frame. Sounds crazy. Bitcoin Cash? I know. I wouldn't touch that with your pole. Crazy to think. Oh, wow. We were over here looking at this then. Drawing the Fibonacci's back when it was around 100. And I do have some of this, although I got out of most of it when there, but I do still have a little position of that. Oh, Bitcoin Cash. Should we take a look at you, darling? How about just from right over here where we were March 2021? Pull that Fibonacci down here and see what's going on. We just look like we're breaking out of our 236 area right there. Let's pull you down there. I think that was the one from the bigger one. And that 681 area is at 382 fib area. Now, if you look over to the left from that, you see that that's the area that we were fighting getting above before. No, maybe we go a little bit above it. Maybe we just tap it and get rejected there. Right now, if you see this little line over here, well, that's where price action is right now. Looking to the left, you can see we're testing these areas over here. Trying to get past those little highs. That's a good sign that maybe she want to do some more. Maybe she's trying to break out of this 236 fib area and go to them, take it to the next level. So I'm looking as high as 684 for Bitcoin Cash, and we got this new little trend line forming there. And until that breaks, well, I ain't got nothing bad to say about it. Those things are rocking. Don't come a knocking if the trailer's rocking. And this trailer's a rocking. We can get us a shorter term fib here area too. Nice little area to look for a little resistance is going to be right between this 886 and 786 Fibonacci. We'll see if she's got any kind of harmonical things going on, how she reacts through there. And see if she might be thinking about giving us a higher low from getting there, or if she's going to go up there and consolidate and get ready for a bigger move, kind of like what Bitcoin's doing at the very moment. Bitcoin Cash, go figure. So what's crazy is that BCH against BTC, well, that didn't work, did it? I'll just come over here. Oh, do you not have it? Is it that hard to find now? There we are. Bitcoin Cash against Bitcoin. Here we go. So right now here on the 4 hour. So for people, and I find this interesting, and maybe I should, I do have one of these played, but it's so small, it's not really doing much. This is the OG method how to grow your Bitcoin, because used to back in the day, we didn't have stable coins. Some places might do it against the dollar, but mostly everything was paired up against Bitcoin, right? You charted everything against Bitcoin. It was confusing as hell to know if you were winning or losing in this freaking game. I'm like, I don't know if I'm making money or not. I don't know. Are we getting more Bitcoin or not? I don't know. But this is a way you can grow your Bitcoin. So imagine that. I mean, you bought this at dollars or something. Maybe you got it down here at the juicy $200 area. Took a long damn time, and Bitcoin outperformed it for a while. Maybe you got it here before it took off at 400 or wherever. Yeah, $400. But look at that, 14% gains on spot. You want to grow your Bitcoin by 14%. That was an area. That was a place to do it. If you happen to get it when it was cheap, could be up 41%. Now think about that. Crazy, isn't it? Because it's hard to grow that damn Bitcoin. Maybe I need to start going back to the OG ways, because that's really what I want to do. I want to grow my Bitcoin, but it's hard. Damn, it's hard. You think leverage might make it easier, but you got to realize they're taking some of your Bitcoin all the time that you're borrowing, right? That little fees, this and that, sucking that Bitcoin away from you when you put it on this leverage place. A lot of people don't really think about that, and they say, "Oh, it's free money. Oh, they're not charging me anything, or maybe a little fee when I win or something." Oh, no, you get charged all the damn time, funding fees, all this stuff, about every 8 hours or so, every 4 hours. Just on your exchange, I guess. You getting feed, baby. They taking some of that Bitcoin away from you, little by little. You just don't see it trickling out, and then you got it on your trade. On top of that, trickling out. Exchanges are definitely getting paid. Here's one that is getting some attention, and we may have to go over here. I think I recognize this one because I think I got the airdrop from this one. Namada. Let's go over. Before we do that, let's come over here. Make sure I'm thinking about the right. The one I'm thinking about is a Cosmos ecosystem. Oh, well, the show's over, ladies. Oh, no, we're back. And I believe it is. This is one I had to use a special VPN to get. Not Namada. It's starting to get some traction. I think the best I can remember, it was a block. Oh no, hell no. You got a pump.fun token here? What the hell is that? That ain't you. You're a fake. That didn't make sense to me. Namada owns Sol. Okay, the ones on Solana that are pump.funds, that looks like bullcrap. Yeah, I don't know. It was showing up on Tokenmetrics. I want to take a look at it, and I had a token. I had a drop. And I thought it looked just like, it looks very similar, but it wasn't tied to Solana. There's a Cosmos ecosystem play. So I'll find out about that. We'll find out. But that came from over here in the Tokenmetrics, though. As one that might be worth paying attention to. I just see some red alerts there. Pump.fun coin on that. And that's not what I'm trying to share with you. Oh, look, Tangem Wallet. Need Tangem Wallet 10% off with code DOG. And they've got some designs over there, some other packs over here. Family pack, 2-card set, 3-card set. I like that. A family pack is probably a good idea. Best value for 2 cold wallets? Huh. I think they ought to do like a 10-pack, and that way you could have a variety of 3 to 5 wallets where you wanted to make them into 2-card set or 3-card set. That's just my take on it. Let me come over to the chat. Big Damon says I changed it to 2 words so people can find you better. I encountered that the other night on the stream, so and that they popped up. It seemed to pop up pretty easy when I did that. Cool. So meet Damien, 2 words. Go give him a like and subscribe. Give him a follow. What's on crypto? How's it going? Chris Klein. Let me scroll down through. Hey, we got Kelly. I see Kelly here. Here we are. Now I'm catching up with us. So we have the corner crest. Ryan K says Optopia. Optopia. That one sounds familiar. Tommy 2 Liters says Shiba. That's Justin Crypto. How's it going, Justin? Kaylee says Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so we just did that one, right? KO says short. Let's see. I'm on the. Is this the dollar? This is against Bitcoin, right? I don't. Should we short BCH? Where is I keep getting Coinbase. I'm not big on Coinbase. I think your best short idea might be up here at 556, to be honest with you. I don't think she's ready to short just yet. The EMAs on this one, look, this is our 618 right here from this pull, high to low. Below the 618, if it loses it, I would consider a short. But right now, this showing bullish signs like she wanting to do something. And you know, it sounds crazy going into the weekend. But I mean, just to be on the safe side, she might have a little bit more up her sleeve. So I'm really thinking might want to. I would try to plan one somewhere around here, and you could do a low leverage one, right? It doesn't have to be 100x or anything like it could be, but or whatever. You know, as long as your stop loss is somewhere over, you know, above the 886 area. But I would want that wiggle room. That would be an idea. But you got some percentages there, about 5%, 6%. So if you do like 10x leverage or something like that, that turns into 60%, you know, wiggle room, then that's hard to deal with. From 561 to 598, that's hard to deal with. But any confirmed rejections there? And I would think about 557, 558. More than likely, that may not, you know, that would be a good place to try to short. That's just my take on it. So my idea would be to have something kind of like this, and without pulling out and without pulling out new fibs to guesstimate, it would basically, it may only come back down to the 618. Or this area right here to retest. It may not be the greatest. But we'd be trying to find a risk to reward ratio somewhere around at least three R's. We always want to get at least about 3 R's to make it worth our while. Risk to reward, whatever we're, you know, stop loss. If this is foreign to anybody, let me know and I'll try to spend a minute talking about it. What we want to find when we're looking for any kind of trade setup is all based on that risk to reward. If it's not there, it's not worth taking it. And what I see that might be confused by a lot of people, from what I see, some of the little morning grifters out there that like to bring this tool up, but they don't ever follow it. I mean, it looks good. I guess it looks impressive to put it on there. Look, we got this and this and put this in there. But it's only good if it fits your trading plan, and then, you know, you plan the trade and then you actually trade that plan. Because if you do any variations, if you don't honor the stop loss, you get out too early, you're throwing all the plan right out the window. So it's kind of, and it's important to know what you're risking to what you're going to get rewarded for. That way, is it worth the trade? Because if it's not, if I'm going to risk $1,000 just to cash out with with 45 bucks, and it might take me 10x. I mean, it's just crazy. You have this huge ass trade just to make a tiny little bit, and you're like, oh yeah, woo! I see a lot of them, they don't have conviction for the trades up. So you want to be careful not to go too crazy with the big measure moves or stuff like that. And I know I throw some targets out there, right, for bigger swing trades, but it's a play when it works out. They work out more often than they don't, in my personal opinion. But there are times when they definitely don't. They don't turn out to be an AB equals CD move. Anyway, we are above the 618, so that's bullish for me right now. But a short from 567 might be interesting. I'm trying to get back on topic here. Hey, people! So let's take a look at this Optopia. And I'll come back to the chat. Optopia. Well, let's go over here then. Optopia AI, there we go. OP AI, okay. KuCoin's got it, MXC's got it. Let's take a look at MXC. Although I probably looked at it before on KuCoin. Yep, let's see what we already had. All right, so we have these areas. They were green. That would mean I'd be looking at possible getting in, buying or something, some level of support. Looks like we lost it for a few days there in May, June. Went lower and that happened. So I don't know what these lines over here are still lined up. So let's see what we got going on here. Are you still lined up? Let me adjust you, put you down here. We're still below this. Oh, that's cool. We'll still keep you. Well, you are probably still good from the bigger pulls. I want to take this guy off the picture for the moment. I mean, it's still relevant. Just not, well, I could do this. I still like that for a target. So this is the daily, and you know, we're just waiting for this to confirm a bottom. Maybe it has. It made a higher low right here. You have to have patience for this one, man. Patience for this one. And this area right here, yeah. That is going to be a tricky place to get past, but what is it? Almost 3x to get up there? This would be a tricky one. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a tricky one. Require a lot of patience. Hopefully, they're actually doing some stuff with some AI that will get some hype and traction. The most positive thing that I can spot out about it right now is that we broke out of this trend line. It's still got some wiggle room because they do. So we still in some fuzzy gray area, but it's starting to look like it's getting at least a little traction there. Hey man, what the hell? Jeez. We have an issue. I think it's getting about time for Mercury to start going back into retrograde. I don't think we're quite there, but I think she'll be coming before too long. So that's nice, and we made a higher high, higher low. So we got the possible start of a trend change here. Let's see if we can help that along. The next sign that I will be looking for that would help confirm that would be getting above here and holding it. Haven't done that yet. Looks like she's trying to. 4-hour time frame, I think, is a good place to look at these altcoins and judge their strength. And this one's still got a lot more stuff to go through. She's not ribbon flipping yet, not flipping the moving averages. So this one could be in an accumulation period for, you know, for a minute, maybe through the summer or something. But when she gets to where she wants to go, you know, then we can see those more payday targets hit. And I was kind of hoping to be a little bit more than just that 3x up here, though. So for this one, in my personal opinion, DCA into a bag of it. Little nibbles, so you don't move the price and everything, and then you got your little bag, and should be fairly easier to moon bag these things from these bottoms. That's one of the benefits of slowly buying down here. Even if it seems risky, a risky project, and they can be. You don't want one that's going to rug pull or die. Nobody's going to talk about. So that's the risk that you're taking about them. So if you're going to take a risk on them, then why not when they're in the bottoms? But as soon as they get up to 100%, you doubled your money. Pull that collateral out, you got a free bag. Free bag. $100 free of it. No more risk. And there's your lottery ticket degen play, man. That's a safe degen play. I try to scare the least risky of the degen plays. The risky thing is just throw money in and not have a plan. Hope it hits. But just having the one little plan, hey man, it's a bottom. If it's going to do anything, it may be able to double pretty quick from the bottoms, right? Pull that money out. Easier said than done, though. You might be having to get it through a swap, makes it a little bit more difficult to keep up with. Do it on an exchange. Are you going to keep it with your limit order? Are you going to leave it there? You know, you got lots of things to consider there. Let's take a look at Shiba. Do you guys mind if I talk about stuff like that, or is that kind of just boring old hat or something? These little ideas. I just feel like, you know, if you're kind of new, you don't know what all your options are. And there are lots, and some of them are okay, some are a little bit better than okay, some suck. Some of them sound good at first, then you're like, well, that didn't really, it's something, swear that's what happened. I mean, there's lots of strategies. Find a good one, be consistent with it, it helps. ABC corrections, what I see here are just a big old correction anyway. Harmonic people will be looking at some kind of funky M pattern probably. I wonder which one they would look at. Would you be looking at this, or you'd be looking at this one? Anyway, regardless, just to put the Cliff Notes version, we're down here at the points where they should be finding some support soon. I don't think she's found her bottom yet. I think she's got just a little bit more to go for Shiba Inu. I think the 886 is what we're looking for, and then I think we can come back up over these areas over here. In time, it'll take some patience to get there, but I mean, not everybody uses the 886 Fibonacci, okay? A lot of people don't even have it on their thing. Well, that's a disservice to those guys. They're missing out on some good alpha that this one can bring. Because that deep-ass 886 retracement, that sucker can be a good deal for your bottom feeders out here. It is. That's one of the ones I look for. I'm a bottom feeder. I look for them 886s. I do. Because they have more good results than bad results. So if it loses it, okay, well then we gotta look and see if we're going lower, okay? Okay, but most of the time they kind of respect that. If we got some moving averages kind of crossing bullish over here, I'm thinking, what? It's probably going to show it a little bit of respect. Probably not going to poop all over my portfolio. A little bit of rounding trying to happen there. I think some good signs happening here. Elliot, let's get Elliot. ABC correct? Oh, shut up, Elliot. You know, can you? What do you got? That was, you're not even on the right one, Elliot. God, Elliot's drinking again. All right, we're going to turn him off there. Thor doesn't agree with you, so you're going to cancel him? Yeah, I'm probably going to cancel him because he's drinking. He wants to talk about things in the past instead of talking about the present, so I don't want to go over. I don't rehash what already happened over there. Shiba Inu. Got some work. Oh, we're on the 4 hour. 4 hours is the one I really want to see here. The moving averages over here. It's coming around. It's trying. She's working on it. Might be a little bit more down before upside. So if it does drop down there from where we are now, how much of a drop? I'm not saying it's going to happen now. It might take her a while, but I would say over the next few weeks or something, we might see that 5% drop. That 1111 area. 1113. We're at 1157 now. Oh hell, that's where it is right there. Should just go ahead and knock it out of the park this weekend or something, and see if we can get on with our life, Shiba Inu. Sucks that you're down that low. From when were you here? That was May, December. Where were you? Oh, you dropped a lot since December. Oh my gosh, man, I did not realize the opportunity that I had in December on a lot of these things I had parked in a wallet. Because you're thinking, and I remember that December, knowing that it gets shaky and everything, even into quarter two, but still thinking, I guess in the back of your head, you still think that they're going to hold a lot of that value and not drop down 70%. Crazy, isn't it? That was psychology. It doesn't just work in your trading, it works in your investing and your holding and your long-term stuff too. It's when that number goes up and those portfolios start growing, you have this tendency to think it's going to stay there or close enough to it, and just not taking the bulk of the profits. What if Because I haven't ever done it. But I wonder, what if I just sold every freaking thing when we're up? Just sold it all. Sold it all, baby. But there's that part of me, I don't know. I want to have that bag for when we go up. But it always seems like the best idea in retrospect is sell at least half, maybe 3/4, or all. And you would have been better. That's the truth. I ain't done it. I ain't seen nobody else do it either. However, I do think that my previous mentor, the one in the trading group who, because he was always completely out of altcoins at some point. Like, oh, I'm out. I'm like, well, thanks for the heads up. When I say bearish retest, that means you should probably get out. And I'm like, well, thanks for the code. Like I'd never picked up on that. That actually came out one time. I think it was I think he started getting a little screwy, thinking he could be sued for something or something like that by saying something. So he wanted to code, not officially say you should sell, financial advisor or something like that. So code bearish retest means you need to. I was like, well, that I wish I'd known that a few months ago when I could have saved my ass from. That's what you pay $99 a month for. I think it's about time for me to do my grift and chill. If we can bring that up here. Oh man, did we lose it? Yeah. If you want the real alpha, you want access to a little Telegram group, my little OnlyFans footsie group, where I will give you a Bitcoin daily Bitcoin chart with my toenails pointing toward the price targets. $2,499 a month, baby. You know you need it. You know you need it. It's all right. If you can't afford it, I'll help you get there, baby. I'll help you get there. Just keep hanging out with me, and we'll see if we can get you to where you can afford to be in this elite group here. Because it's so well worth it. It's so well worth it. The fungus alone is worth every penny. I'm just saying. So, Hyperliquid, she was doing like really good, and then she's not doing as good. So there's this possible trade set up there that would have got stopped out. That was being really generous with that freaking stop loss too. That was 8%, and I don't like 8%. So a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. If I got that, did I actually put that out? I feel like I'm missing a line. Like I would have had a different idea here. Oh, I bet it was this. I bet it was this. Or we're looking at somebody else's trade. Do you see this? Now let me show you something. Let me show you something. How many of you guys have remember me talking about the woolly booger guy, the little triple top kind of thing with the little eyeballs and all that, and now you can see how they kind of form, what makes those little guys happen. It's a flag to the upside that doesn't and comes back, and we kind of lose it. So what does that say? And then people will be looking, no, it's a head and shoulders. Gosh darn it, don't you see anything? These patterns form. They do form. And it's helpful when you do zoom out and see things. So the first things you would have been looking at would probably be something along the lines of that. Many a guru were looking at and drawing that little guy. Versus the trend line idea, which is what I kind of lean a little bit more heavier on, right? But breaking out of that and then that's all it takes to make that little thing, or a head and shoulders. It's a breakout. It's a failed breakout, man. For this one, this is not. I don't treat this as a head and shoulders because it's not. This kind of defines it. A failed breakout is really what it is. But then we get this little kind of triple top scenario because it tried to make 3 tops, or some people might even look at it as an M. That's where it gets all confusing. That's where trend lines help make the say, oh man, we crossed the line, stuff ain't good. So I don't remember, but I do know that I am in. I do have some of this, and it is. She is a little in drawdown. I've got a very low leverage play on this little guy that I've not really put all my position into yet, so I'm still waiting to see what she can catch. But losing that trend line, well, now I've got to start she comes back up, I may have to get out of the. So what I'd be looking for hyper liquid is a possible bearish retest. So I'd be looking for it to come back up there. And so high to low, if we pull their fibs, we can probably see how it could spell out on the fibs. That 236. I don't know that we're going to get past that 236 right there. Man, I gotta say, I love the fibs. The fibs just take all the little strategies that I've used, and it fits really good into them. I don't know, the fibs. There's a strategy to the fib. So we might be heading back to 38. Don't know if we're going to do anything nice about that. I usually don't like this thing. It usually can get nasty down. This one's had a good run. And she still got some bullish stuff. I'm just saying she need to take a break, baby. She up too high. She extended. She need to be coming down, be touching some of these errors down here. She already lost her 236 up there. Why, shoot, she might be coming down here to the $32 area. That is the first place I would actually look seriously for it, to try to catch some support there. And over the summer, you might see a little drop down to 28 if we get some kind of bad news or something like that. That could happen. Somebody does something stupid out there in the Middle East or something. I don't know. Be prepared for surprises, because I think we're going to have a lot of that. That's going to be the volatility. Remember, we can get 30%, and that can still be normal for crypto. Solana seen better days. She's coming down a little bit. 146 was up here at 185. Man, there were there are some grifters talking about their huge Solana bags that they were holding, that they got, 112 in that area, in and out or whatever, kind of average there. Diamond hand it, baby. Going to diamond hand it to 500 and turn, 100,000 into whatever. So many million. It's been a bumpy ass ride for that idea. I don't think they're still convinced on that play anymore. Solana's good, but she's already ran up. The best place to go was $8, and nobody wanted to touch her. I didn't want to touch her there too. I had to make myself touch the amount that I did touch, which I'm glad that I did, but my bias got to me and kept me from making a nice little fortune off of that. I'm going to clear you out, Solana, and on this 4-hour time frame. Just do a little reconnaissance here. Oh, nice. You are testing that 236 on the as support, not resistance, but as support. I likes it. I like that. I hope to hell that holds. It need to. I ain't convinced that it can though, but it need to. So far it has. But it's a shoulder, head and shoulder. There's an M pattern. That M pattern could be interesting. That M pattern. If she do want to come down, if something bad happens, I would look at this at the 618. This is reminding me, I'm seeing this a lot actually. This formation happening a lot right now. Tighten up the game there. And when you guys asked me a question and opinion, was it this coin or was it something else? And I'd like to spend a few minutes going over that, because I think it's a little bit educational, just to how you can look at the markets and see things. And was that in the, yeah, I think it's over here. It was Kelly asking me, was it banana? Okay, banana, because you're going to see this same. They've all got a lot of them. Not them all. Try not to speak in absolutes. As an analyst, you should not speak in absolutes, and as a trader, you shouldn't speak in absolutes. But first of all, as an analyst, you should never speak in absolutes. I don't think any analyst is worth a grain of salt will speak in absolutes. They don't need to. That needs to be one of the things that defines what an analyst is, in my personal opinion. You can't do it. And call yourself an analyst, in my personal opinion. No, dude, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go up here, dude. Oh, we hit this, we're gonna fly, man. How do you know? What the? You got a telephone? You got a line to God? Does he tell you what's going to happen, man? Wow, do you have that crystal ball? Or is it that crystal, other kind of crystal, telling you those things? I'm freaking out. Okay, let's go look at. She was asking about Banana Gun. I like Banana Gun. I got a little moon bag of it. I got too many damn moon bags. The downside of doing moon bags is that you can collect a lot of those little suckers, but it's cool because you're pulling your collateral out of them, right? Wash, rinse, repeat. You will collect a lot of coins that way unless you stick to certain ones. Let's take a look at Banana Coin over here. So, yeah, it's more of this little section here. So this is kind of interesting, and she's asking me about a falling wedge idea, and you can you can look at that as being a falling wedge, and a lot of people do. That's coming in on really the end of the price action, though, so you're kind of discarding everything that happened here and before and all that that when you do that. That's one of the things you gotta be aware of. So, but that is what is very popular to do. People do that. They come. I call it pinching the tips. And you know, you're trying to make a falling wedge in here out of something, right? And you can do that. A lot of people would you know, you can make it fit. The rule is, if you do have two points on one side, 3 on the other, I mean, you've got a valid pattern, and you can make that work. But just know it's at the expense of the bigger picture that you could see. So what I'd like to do is zoom out, since we got this nice little juicy bottom down here that we had. We got our trend line. Now that's the bigger story there. That's what's happening right here, is that we kind of lost that guy. We kind of lost that. Now this local pattern, now we could have been looking at this, ignoring this megaphone pattern. They're bearish. They usually break to the downside. It did. That could have been maybe a clue that maybe is going to kind of test this trend line a little heavier, and it may not work out when we look at it. The biggest thing is this trend line. Losing that's a big deal, and then we bearishly retested it right here. So there could be some more downside before this one's ready to go up, but it can also be coming up before she's ready to go down. Does that make sense as a bearish retest idea? So that's one thing that's one of the bigger arguments I'll be looking at there. As far as that goes, but there are actually a lot of ways that you can look at that. A lot of people have been looking for bottom patterns, and one of the first things that probably would have been yelled at is an Adam and Eve to the upside. I mean, yeah, they usually form a little bit more better, but you could have looked at that and tried that, but it would never validate it. Therefore, you see a lot of people call them out. Listen to an Adam and Eve to the upside. Let's go ahead and, you know, they jump in and place things. Oh man, well, shows up. Oh, there we're back. And you see, as I'm drawing these trend lines, it's also forming some other things too. Triangles, basically. But the Adam and Eve, you know, it needed to go above a neckline, and it never got above it to confirm. So it was never an Adam and Eve. It never was. It was a possible. You could have said possible. But even looking at this as a triangle, I mean, there can be some downside to this. It's at $16. That's a pretty good price on it, I guess. my little moonback somewhere close to where I can't remember where I picked it up at. I know it's went up a whole lot more than that. I would be looking for $14 and applying the fibs. This is why. I would watch out, and I can't remember if you were looking to long it or short it. I think it's on a possible AB. And Elliot, you got an ABC on this one? See what Elliot's got on it. He ain't coming up with nothing. Sometimes you don't. But I went over some things I just kind of saw without actually drawing anything out and some of those ideas. But I thought I'd at least come over here and go over some of these ideas. And 786, since we lost the 618 here, okay, I'm seeing the, stronger possibility we could be coming back down to here. And that would make a higher low than what we had there. So she's got some stuff to start working out here. So I could see this one possibly burning down a little bit over the next few weeks, but do look for the possibility that maybe there might be something like that to happen too. Moving averages, they're starting. She's working on it. They're trying to get some kind of bottom through here. Most of these altcoins, I just think it's going to take them mostly all summer to kind of establish this area, as bottom. They've been hurt so hard. When they finally turn that money printer on toward the end of the summer, and then, I think we'll finally see a little relief out of this. But that's really what we're waiting for, in my personal opinion. Pendle, trying to get up to $4. That's pretty nice. That looks. What we got going on here, Pendle? Nice bullish crosses going on in the moving average. This price has kind of lost some of those guys, so it's trying to find her way there. Do we have something? That's the extreme. That is still resistance. Okay, well, this is us going with our extreme touches here, but it gives us all we need there. So let's hope that line holds. Wow, Pendle, you already went through all this stuff. This is all old stuff. You already went through all these areas. All right, let's zoom out and take a look at Pendle here. See how she's doing. She is trying to graduate past this 382 Fibonacci. So congratulations, Pendle. I would starting to look at 514 as the bigger next higher high for you, if you're trying to get there kind of soon. Let's take our other fibs here. Nice support, 382. Perfect for what we want to see. We can get a bounce for there. Now we can get a little hopium target that actually takes us up here to this guy. So these are me trades setup ideas for the bigger picture and even on the smaller turn. So if we do start losing some stuff, I need to see some support here about 317. If we do start getting a little run up, because we do have this little trend line idea. It's a shoddy one, but she's there on the fringes and respecting it, and as long as she's above it, that makes a good place to put a line in the sand. Stop loss is below somewhere if you got those ideas, and I don't want to see her drop below 340. We're at 390 right now. Any drop below 340 would be invalidating this, in my personal opinion. Going making your lower low here from that little wick would not be a good sign, but the moving averages are saying, hey man, I don't think that's going to happen. This looks like a good area for support that we could get some upside, and she will struggle. So she'll be coming back up, testing 440, 450, starting to struggle about 470, but 515 is the sweet spot. Come on, baby. And then we got this 662 area for a little hopium target. Yeah, because she bouncing where she bouncing. I want to come back here. I don't know, how long could that take? How long could that possibly take? How long could it take you to get there? August? Oh my gosh. So I would love to come back here in August sometime, maybe, and go, oh look, nailed it. Will that happen? I have no freaking idea. I just know one of my plays is setting up perfectly for it, and I'm going to give it a shot. Because, baby, she's at the bottom of a trend line. My risk is so slow. Think about this. Think about this. Not just for this asset, but anything that's doing the same thing that it's doing. Why do I think this is a good setup? Why do I like this idea? Why do I like it? For a swing trade. Yeah. One of those I don't have to worry about too much. Put some low leverage or no leverage, just have it spot. I don't care. Because I can set a nice little TISAT stop loss. And I got a 1-to-1 move. That's what that is. And you don't think that maybe she might come up here? Let's look at this idea. I did that from a different method. Could have came over here and just pulled your simple Fibonacci. Where's it taking us to? Where? 886 Fibonacci. Think we can get an 886? We can get 886s all the freaking time, baby. That's the harmonics, baby, talking to us. Let's go. That $6 thing don't look so crazy now, does it? When you zoom out just a little bit, it's like when we were there. Make that little lower low. Could be a bearish sign. What if she makes a higher high? We're not getting there yet. That could be up to $9. Pendle. I'm telling you, I likes it. So what do I? Why? What's so beautiful about it? What's so beautiful about it? Stop loss can go right underneath here. And that's just one idea. That's if you want to get tight. I encourage you to go a little bit below that. Because I want you to think about this when it comes to making your trades. And I'm thinking about putting a video out about this over into the membership section and talk about this. But the big boys that come into this market and kind of run this, the institutional traders, your hedge funds, your VCs and all that stuff, the people with the big money, I mean, do you realize that they trade differently than we do? We are more nimble than they are. They have a lot more rules to follow, and they can't put a lot in without screwing things up, right? So they got to be very nimble about it. Do you know one of their favorite strategies is to put limit orders in that may never ever get filled, and they buy low? And one of the places is where the freaking stop loss would be if they needed, if liquidity. So here's how this kind of builds up, man. You got the big people and they're like, well, we got to get in, you know, the good prices, because they're the smart money. They're not chasing. Okay. So they might have a big ass limit order down here. May not ever get hit. But wherever there would be a stop loss, like here, people would be saying, oh, put your stop losses below that last one. There's going to be a shit ton of orders right there. And so there might be a wick that comes down and gets that, and that would be coming down to fill their orders. So there is one thing, and there is a strategy where maybe you layer in to where you would put a stop loss, but you don't have your stop loss there. You plan on putting it way lower. Lower leverage play, nice little things down there. Add to your bags, just like the whales do. You start thinking about the whales and how that they work, and the big money, and you can start incorporating these ideas into your strategies. And I've got some extra little limit orders right where a stop loss would be. So maybe instead of having that stop loss on spot or low leverage, you might have some orders there, and with a conditional order or stop loss, you know, quite a bit lower than what you would have normally planned on. You know, you can make this work as long as you're controlling your risk. That's the biggest thing you want to do, is that risk to reward ratio. Your R's, we're concentrating on our R's. Remember, it's all about the R's, risk to reward. How many R's we getting out of that? If you did that situation, if I were to break that down and say my normal entry's here, and I know maybe I got a bigger entry down here. That will, you know, I could nibble a little bit here if I wanted to, but still have my bigger ass ones put in right where a stop loss would go. May get hit, may not get hit. Okay, that's exactly what the hedge funds and all them, they take a chance. Sometimes those orders don't get filled. Somebody didn't pay. What the freak? But I would probably consider this where you're averaging in that, and then you do have a bigger ass stop loss, but it's your cost of entry is lowering down as you start getting in here, right? It starts slowing down that, but you still want a good risk to reward ratio, right? So these are some of the more you got to be patient to make a play like that. So the best thing, like if you got a full-time job or something, these are a great place to do, but you don't know if you're going to get hit or not. Just some other ways to look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, there's all kinds of strategies to utilize out here. Coming back to the chat because we needs to. How about saying 16 cents because James said so? Said Haven. How is Say doing? That was actually one on my list here. Was he saying too? That was the 786 fib area right there, 16 cents. Yes, I'm right there. She came out. We're trying to follow a trend line. Looks like because there's not. It's hard because there wasn't really one there. So the idea is probably something like that. Now we got us something. So say. That's the moving averages are getting tighter there and starting to flip. That's not bad. Let's take a look on the bigger time frame. I mean, it's been a disappointment because of how much it's dropped. I mean, 74 cents all the way down to 12. Oh my gosh, 12 or 13 cents. So getting in at these areas, juicy. That's when I pull my pivot from top to bottom there, and that's why we got that red line right here. And that's the best target I've got for short term. We know we got to get up there and we need to get past it to confirm a bottom pattern and a bunch of other stuff. So that makes a good first target to wait for my chart. Some people want to sell sooner, but for me, swing trade, what's the return on that? That's a good 38% there, and then from there we'll be starting to look at this 35 cent area, and that'd be 78% return just from where we are right now at 19 cents. So hopefully we got our higher low out of Say here on the 4 hour, and this was April, this was Liberation Day, and we put in a higher low here, possible higher low. She's not confirmed yet, so it's still possible, but at a good place to catch. So yeah, I like that. I want to see her get a higher high from here, which means coming up about 21, 22 cents. And then she's already breaking that trend line, showing some good signs. So it's nice to see something nice come out of this. So yeah, Say's actually showing some nice signs here. But and hopefully other altcoins will too. Hopefully it's not just Say. But yeah, I like what I was in here. And good, it needs some, because man, you got a lot of making up to do, Say. So think about this from Say, from where it is right now, about 20 cents, just getting back up to where it was December. Almost a 3x, 270%. Got to go manage me bags after the stream tonight. Kelly says, boy, Bitcoin is keeping its range tight. It is, and that's bullish AF. Because we've been in this range since May. And that's one of the things I'm looking for this part of the cycle, man, that we hold this red line. And it could turn out really good. So it's kind of sucks because you gotta watch that red line. And I'm like, is it gonna be bullish or bear? Because we could give it up. But if we don't give it up, we've been making higher lows so far. If we don't give it up, oh man, we could see something really big as a surprise. And I think it will take a lot of people by surprise. They're not ready for it and will give up and like, I'm so tired of crypto, because they will try to tire us out. But there's also a scenario I'm looking for maybe in July where they might want to dip us down real quick and then take us up. So I've got those two scenarios that I'm kind of guarding here. And I think both of them are about as equally plausible. It is rare to hold this area and go up, but we are at the perfect time in this in the cycle for Bitcoin for that to happen, and it's done it before. But this one down here, so yeah, we're just having to watch. But it has held this area, wow, man, forever. That's a sign of strength, man. You can't deny that. That is a sign of strength. This is the two I'm looking for right here. So for how many days? 42 days. That's interesting. Now I can't swear to this, but off the back of my mind, I'm remembering something about Gann and like this 40-day cycle thing for like trends. Ranging out, we might want to keep our eyes on it. I'm just saying, I can't swear to what I'm trying to recall in my mind, but I see some things that we need to be vigilant at this area and not just assume that it's going to go down, or not just assume that she's going to pop off and make an all-time high or whatever. We can't assume what Bitcoin is going to do here. This is probably one of its most wild card moments that could be the most beneficial if you're in Bitcoin. And I think the smartest play, one would be spot for accumulation for Bitcoin. If you were trying to do leverage, like some kind of low leverage, like I'm talking like 2-3x, preferably not even perpetual futures because they'll ream you with fees, but maybe some kind of margin play. Somewhere between 2 to 5x, you could rack up just DCA and layering into a position over this summer with Bitcoin until she finally decides, hey man, I'm ready to pop this area and go up. You could be building that bag on leverage, because your liquidation would be somewhere like a 50 something thousand. That's just one of those smaller ideas to really take advantage of the Bitcoin move. Here's one that's been KTA. I've looked at it before, and I have a little note up here. Apparently, I was supposed to look at it for when it got to $1.08, and that's the first time I've seen this. And Kita, where are you at right now? Did you ever make $1? Oh my shoots! She went well below $1.08. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I ignored that. So what did she do? This one was getting all the hype, right? And going up and crazy. So channel ideas, best that we could follow for what we had at the time, and looking for a retest of that. It did not do that. It did the opposite, and I would pay attention to the opposite because this is important. And you guys have heard me talk about this at times. You know, you can this one did it. Wow. A lot of times when that fakes out and they come back into the pattern, it gets bearish AF. So I just want to walk over, this is what we would hope to see, that it would continue to went parabolic. And it could have. It was set up to do it. But it went with plan B, which was come back, and it did a nice retest. And so for anyone, I wasn't playing this, but anyone who was, or if you're in this situation again, because this is why this is important to go over, to look and see what happens when there are failed setups or failed ideas. That was just one idea. This was the other option, and it did it perfectly. It came back up and did a bearish retest. So if you were in an idea like that, if you're chasing it and you'd FOMO'd in and bought the flag to the upside, because believe me, there were flags to the upside being touted about this. Crazy measure moves and everything. You got caught up in it or whatever, that gave you a chance to get back out. Even if you were to play this idea before confirmation, jumping in, you would have had a chance to have gotten back out at that retest. And that's cool. So you always want to look. The reason I mention this is because you don't want to, when you get in these situations, a lot of people freak out. Oh my God, it went south. I'm down. Oh no. And they freak out and make their own decisions. There's always that chance when things are dropping like crazy and feeling bad, that we come back up for a retest. So when things do get scary, and I'm sure that they might do it over the weekend or early next week, and we might get another drop out of altcoins. I'm sure we'll get another drop out of altcoins at some point, right? They just do that. But if we do see those big red days, just be patient, man. Let's give some time and see if we get a retest, get a little relief, and that's what I'm playing right now for most of my altcoins right now. I'm seeing a possible relief rally. I'm not seeing very much more than that right now, so I'm trying to take some profits on some of these altcoins. I do think over the summer we'll have chances to build these bags more. I'm not bearish I'm not majorly bullish on the altcoins right now either. But that was a nice little drop. And then what happened? Then it did what it does a lot in the bear market, man. If you ever see something like that, came down and went out of the pattern altogether. A bit of retest on that one even. So black screen again. Lots of sell-offs from this, but now a lot of that is starting to wear out. I'm seeing that it's starting to come down here and find some support areas here. So now Kita's starting to look a bit interesting. But I was looking at her, I had a note to look at her at 108. But I knew not to freaking chase that little sucker. I know that. They make it enticing to chase. Oh, did we pass it up? Let me come back over to the chat real quick. I'm only working with 2 monitors tonight, so I'm a little off. I couldn't find the remote for my big screen TV that I put up here to put everything, the chat and most of the stuff on. Anita Cho says, I can't wait to load more in 7 days. I'm sure we'll get chances to get altcoins cheaper. So mostly what I'm doing with my altcoins right now, because they're all, a lot of them they went up and now they're on some kind of retest or something for a lot of them, from wherever they were. And we had really high highs and it is kind of shaky. So I'm like in, it's kind of like a hedge mode, I guess you'd say, for what I'm doing, which will work for spot or some low leverage spot margin plays. And it involves basically just this. I've been over this before. And we're figuring out with fibs and everything what our range is, right, for what we've been on, and it basically gives us an area, something like this. So I'm layering out sell orders, preferably, but not in every case, trying to go from higher values. Holy crap! What was that? I use the 4-3-2-1 method when applicable. I'll go over that in a minute. And then there are the buy orders that will be stacked down here. Now maybe they're stacked. So what I usually do on the spot margin is that I can go in there and I can borrow coins. I can borrow 100 tokens or something. And if I got 100 tokens, what I'd want to do is have my little fib levels I'll figure it out to where I'm playing. And we're just going to pretend here. But I'd have 40 of these tokens stacked out, at this area to give me some good percent. Because from where we are now to up there is like 22%. I'd have 30 tokens stacked right here at this particular fib level, whatever that might be when we take our fibs. 20 tokens here, 10 tokens here. That would be the ideal setup, or maybe I might just go 20 tokens, 20 tokens, 20 tokens, 20 tokens, just kind of run it even and just do a little even thing of 20. Either way, now this is the best, because what this does is that as price comes up in here, we're going to change price to something like green. As price comes up here and starts getting those little guys, now if it goes to the upside first, well, all that cash gets to be put down here. And it was kind of the same idea. Maybe do a 4-3-2-1 setup. 40, I want to buy 40 tokens here, 30 tokens here. So I might put my order for 10 tokens right here. So if price does come down, maybe we get rejected there, we come back down. Oh, she comes back and fills that, but it comes from where I sold here. So I borrow these tokens, sell there, that gives me the cash to put down here. Or if it goes the other way, I do vice versa. I borrow the cash here and then I put the tokens for sale up here. So that's one of the big ways that I play spot margin. and it allows me to hedge. And I've been in these positions for too damn long, and that's not smart either, because they just, like I said, the exchanges, they're sucking out fees all the damn time. So you gotta be rolling over that profit to make this work. It's not I would not do this next cycle, or at least not to the extent that I've done now. But that's the way that I play that. And what this allows me to do is build these bags, because we're either gradually working our way up or we're gradually working our way down, right? We're either in an uptrend or we're on a downtrend, and this works either way to help build these bigger bags, because you're just cycling it over if it's going up, and you're just cycling even if it's going down. It can be a little bit more tricky on the downside though. It works best when you're cycling up. It builds faster when you're doing this. And then you gotta be careful not to go too hard, right? And you try to start backing up, because you can get in wrapped up too deep, and then when it does drop, you're like, oh crap, no, it's red. So great, but it's a great little strategy to build bags when the market's on your side. You can build them fast. Oh crap, that was supposed to be for Chart Scoop, giving away all the alpha for free. Gosh darn it, I'm supposed to be charging for all this. That's the wrong one. $2,400 a month to see my toenails pointed at the Bitcoin price though. Guys, I normally see how long that I've been going, but now I can't. How long have we been on here? Is that you? I can't tell. I feel like it is 12:10. I feel like we have been on an hour and 41 minutes. I have to bring it up over here. This is us right here, by the way. 367 views, man. That's one average view. Nobody stays here though. Average view duration 6 minutes, so a lot of popping in and out. And that's fine. Maybe some of the same people popping in and out. 21 current viewers. Pretty cool. I appreciate that. Looks like we had, oh, how many? 33? 34? Looks like we had, okay. I think we're getting a little bit more exposure now. All right, well, cool. I appreciate that. Maybe it's. I've noticed some more views, and maybe a few more subscribers coming in, and that's cool. That's a good sign that, you know, getting exposure. I mean, hopefully, a lot of the crypto channels are getting a lot more exposure here. I want to take a look at KuCoin. Why not? Where you at? 103? You dropping? You correcting? Look like you still are trying to correct over here, baby. Looking like you. Ooh, what are you doing, KuCoin? Moving averages look okay. The bigger ones look good. The smaller ones, I mean, they're not looking as healthy. But I mean, I know we can figure out and everything, but I'm looking at what the actual lines are doing here. We're going to put the 618 on the radar here, but also the 786 for KuCoin. Sounds crazy for 51 cents, and I'm not saying that she's going there, but I'm saying we got to be prepared in case she does. You don't know what's going to happen to these meme coins over the next little bit. Over this summer, between now and August, September, a lot of stuff can happen, including a big ass retracement like that. She's been down here before. First area I want to look at, it's not quite there yet. Let's go with that 0.5. I think that's going to get you right there. All right. So figuring out a game plan for KuCoin here. Let me get you color coded right. Get you right. Paying close attention to this area. That would be cool. That would be cool. That would be a nice higher low scenario. What I'm concerned about is just the correction, right? Because what I see is this trend line with a nice bearish ass retest. That means if we're doing like an ABC correction, Elliott wave, then you know this could be your A, your B, and then your C. And your C would be lower low territory, like 75 cent or even down here. Elliott, do you see that? Have you got that? Let's see what Elliott says. We got the Elliott wave in. Yeah, Elliott wave sees the same thing. Sometimes we agree. Other times I think he's a stupid little. So you got that idea, and that's kind of one of the things I was seeing with Banana Gun too, and a lot of these little things. So if we're seeing something that was in like a megaphone pattern, if you kind of see that, maybe there's a bottom catch here, or maybe it finally breaks. Yeah, we gotta be careful with these little ABC corrections. We basically extended our welcome up here at 164, and now we gotta chill out a little bit. And she couldn't get higher. She couldn't make a higher high. So the next logical thing that we need to look for in those situations is a lower low. So if we get that, well, then yeah, we're still in a good correction. The problem is we got to go with our psychology that's going to be saying, but it can still be a higher low. It can. But we gotta. That's when we gotta go. Well, we gotta watch it close. It's got to prove itself to us, okay? If that trend line's going to hold, it's got to do a little bit more to prove it, especially with what's going on right now. Even the 4 hours saying, I got some bearish crosses over here, baby. I'm about to dip my 200 and my 100's already done it over that 360, that purple line there. About to take all these smaller ones underneath the purple one, and we could bounce around through here or even come lower. So gotta be careful with Coin. Not the greatest place to short. If it come back up to 120, something like that, maybe you could get a short in. Maybe if you're ballsy enough. But then by then people will be saying, well, it's going up now. But they wouldn't be seeing this trend line, I don't think, where you can get rejected. That's the scenario I'm looking for. You could be doing something like that. Oh, crap. Well, clearly the light bill is not getting paid tonight, everybody. And I got to figure out what's causing all this. I think it's this TV. I need to show I was dancing with my teddy bear. Can you look at ladies USD? I want to know if we'll have a massive dump next 2 weeks. I don't know if I can tell you that, but we'll see what it says. Ladies USD. Now we got it at crypto.com. Now you said USD. Does it matter if it's USDT? Crypto.com usually has a lot of slippage, and you know their prices are usually a little bit higher than your average. That's how they make money. I like them. I use it. I do some stuff over there, mostly longer term little degen plays or something. But you know there's some slippage over there. So I think, unless I hear something different, I'm actually going to go against Tether here. Or, yeah, COINEX has got you. Is that it? Are you like, is that for real? This is against the dollar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 7 zeros? 7 zeros, and then 40, 3, 5, 6 is the price is at. Also saying correction. Elliot's seen, we need to get Elliot up here. Maybe this one, it's kind of the same situation we're looking at the other one too. You know, this area might actually hold, bearish retest, might hold here or lower. Elliot's not really pointing that out. Elliot, go somewhere. So the question was, see, man, my chat's off on my tablet. Why is that? Oh, this is the time to bring, hey, Sean, Elvis in the break room. You can call him? All right. Get Elvis out here. I want to know if I have a massive dump in the next 2 weeks or a massive pump. Okay, well, we need to zoom out.
Join the crew, make it true. Every move to the moon, every move to the moon, every move to
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
For those of you out there hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Jesus! Where are they? Holy crap, what the hell? Oh, dog. Oh, man. Elvis, gosh. Oh, gosh, he's got a knock before he does that. Give me a sign. You're supposed to turn the light on, Sean. Do something. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I almost had a heart attack. Bitcoin Elvis. I would say she would probably have more of a chance of going up than down, to be honest with you. I'm on the monthly here, and just looking at, she could be making a higher low from that. Come to the 2 week over here. It's above the 9 moving average now. Okay. So what I see on the 2 week chart is bullish. And it's above the 9. So my rule is if we're above the 9, whatever time frame, we're fine. We're good. I'm not going to say anything bad about it until we break that. And I added another moving average over here, this little white one. That's a 5 moving average. It bullish across it. That makes me think we're going to try to come up and test the 21, maybe the 50 there. That's what I see on the 2 week. If I were to draw trend lines right there, I would have some support. So I kind of get that on the bigger picture. We'll kind of just keep on zooming in here. Trend line sucks now on the weekly. Cuts through those candle wicks. That's all right. We can get another trend line off of that one, and we're still good on it. Here on the weekly, we got 9 crossing the 21. Bullish. Might be, you know, a little give and take over the next few days here, but to me, it looks like she's trying to do something. All right, so we'll take your old Fibonacci, pull her down, kind of test her, and see what you're doing, huh? How you doing, honey? You still got some stuff to work on. I see. Still in the great little accumulation box is how I'd look at this right now. And you're talking about what over the next... the next 2 weeks. Okay. So let's go to the daily. And we should be able to see about 14 candles. Might come down to 12 hours, something like that. We look at that. That was an interesting idea. I would say over the next 2 weeks, you might only see this one hit. Just coming back to there. The daily is a little bit more bearish than what I saw in the bigger time frames. Remember, the bigger time frames had the more weight. And I'm going to come down to the 4 hour because I just think that's a good general place. 4 hour bigger moving averages are looking promising, but the chop through here. So I think more than most of the next 2 weeks will be somewhere choppy through here and maybe a spike up to there. So I don't know if I'd call that a massive move out of this one. I don't think many are. That'd be about 38% just to get up there. With this target somewhere around 47, 48, right there in the middle. Probably your best bet to get paid. I mean, for a solid payday, that 0.5 Fibonacci. So that would be my take on it, and so I would hope that she would catch at this bottom area, which is great for catching. She made a lower low after making a higher high, so she's been kind of untrustworthy and kind of shady, really. Dilly-dallying around there to come up and test this one, however many zigzags or however it wants to do it. Maybe some rejection, pull back. We want to look at that, find some support. We'll have to weigh it there. We can get a better idea if it's going to hold or not, or go lower. Depending on what it does here could determine if we go lower. And then, you know, start working our way up toward here. If that area, So I see lots of zigzag, but yeah, good. But I can't see a major move just yet. I hope I'm wrong. That'd be cool if it does get a major move. If over the next 2 weeks, you know, she did get up here, that'd be doing a breakout thing. Maybe we could squeeze close to this, retest this 382 area right there. If not, then maybe somewhere close, like the 7-8, you know, this little zone over here. If we're going to make a lower high after getting past the 0.5, that's one of the bigger areas I'd be looking for. What would the come up be from here to there? Would it be worth it? 60%? What would your R's be? That's what the big thing. What's the R's? So if you're working on just a trade setup, just to get up there to make a higher low, good stop loss somewhere around these areas, depending on how much wiggle room. 5% could work, unless you want to take heed the VC stuff that we just talked about, and maybe use a little bit of bigger stop loss, or you got some pretty good risk to reward return on that. That could happen in the next 2 weeks. It's not bad. I would say it's got a good chance of trying to do something like that. See, the Bitcoin has been dropping. Mostly just hanging out sideways here. I'm here on the 6-minute time frame with Bitcoin, and this time frame has been bearish to me for a while. With the moving averages, they flip bearish, but now you can see them all starting to, they're getting closer, and now these little ones are going to try to overflip these bigger ones now in this little sideways range on this smaller time frame. We're consolidating into a triangle situation here overall, and that's just what price is starting to squeeze down, and eventually what they usually do is continue to squeeze down until with they're more symmetrical, they seem to almost go all the way to the extent of the apex. Most of your other triangles usually break out about 75% of the way in, but these little guys, those little bastards, can just go all the way. And then we'll see a result. I don't trust symmetrical triangles because they can just do rangy stuff. To me, I largely look at symmetrical triangles as just extenuations of this range that we're in. And then they just do a rabbit run. And they tend to kind of respect the trend lines that they're on, so they might ride this one down or come down and ride this one to the upside. They do some crazy stuff. But it's just price squeezing, and then there's going to be a reaction. And then short squeeze, long squeeze for short term. We're heading into the weekend. I would expect them to try to entice There we are, black again. I'm expecting market makers to try to reel retail in again and start trying to boost price up. Hopefully this weekend will be a little bit more adventurous than last weekend. Last weekend was kind of flat. They largely just kept us flat, especially on Bitcoin, for the most part, until Monday. Right, until Monday, and then that didn't last long, did it? So playing games, that's what they're going to do with us all summer, is what I'm interpreting so far. So we got to be careful, be diligent, but we can work it to our favor. I think we went over some good little alpha and things to think about tonight. Maybe some of it resonated with you. I hope some of it did. Shared a little bit more than what I normally do on some of these things, because it's just good information to have out there. But we're at a cautious stage with Bitcoin. We're consolidating, and now we starting to see all these moving averages. Smaller time frames, they just grow by the time frames. If we're doing multiple time frames, they just start coming up here and accumulating around price. That's that consolidation. And at some point, just like we're talking about with that triangle, how prices kind of squeezes into an area, and we're going to start seeing it do here, and then we'll decide to do one way or the other. I would love, and it could, I'm not trying to be a moon boy, but you got to be cautious. If this area does hold, like I said, and we find ourselves making a higher high, hold on your hat, maybe. It's going to be a good one. If we start losing this level, then, well, but we're not in danger yet. Higher lows. Do we stop doing higher lows? And we'll should start seeing it over the weekend, what we're going to do, man. We're the bottom trend line right here. 4 hour Bitcoin. We're going to find out something soon if this trend line is going to hold or not. If it doesn't hold, then, well, I'm looking at the red line. If it doesn't hold, it's more chance that we might break that red line. But if it does hold, more chances that, maybe they're going to try to come up here somewhere over the weekend. Maybe we get back to 108, 107 is what I'm looking for over the weekend for Bitcoin. I hope so. Got my fingers crossed. I think we can do it. Maybe do a little fake out to 109. I don't know. Ultimately, I think we're just range bound for most of the summer. That's my take. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully I'll have my other monitor up tomorrow night and we'll make it go a little bit more smooth. But thanks for hanging out with me tonight and coming in on my 2 hour mark. And let's go ahead and go to the end screen. I'll come out to the chat here and chit chat, listen to some music. And thanks for hanging out with me, guys. If you can, hit that like button on your way out. God bless you.
Bitcoin's crashing. I'm a hot mess, oh no. Tears flood my room, my wallet saying whoa.
Oh, really? Is it?
Flicker, I'm screaming in despair. Daddy save me.
Oh, did it black me out longer than I thought? No chart on visual, only see your... Really? I didn't know that. I did have a screen to see what you guys saw. I guess we're still up, or did it cut? I might have cut out. And this, I don't see anything going on in the chat. It may have cut off on me. Did it? Looks like we're still up. No chart on display since before lady. Oh man, sorry about that. I'll see if I can figure out what's causing all this. Okay, make sure I didn't miss anything.
My tears, Barra joins and by my dear. Your kiss resets my trading game. Daddy, you're my profit flame. Hold me, daddy, Bitcoin's falling down. Wrap me up, turn my frown to a crown. Kiss my tears, let the market play. Hold me, daddy, we're dancing today. Night. Bitcoin dips, but we're feeling alright. Dance me up, my sexy delight.
Oh wow. It's not even showing over here, is it? That's crazy. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now.
Frustration hums in the midnight air. Chastity's low, a lover's sting. My pulse fights through the ruins ring.
I think we got it back now.
Lust for gains burns in my veins. Hoping nights through the market's chains. Their flicker calls a risky thrill. I chase the high against my will. All coin pulse, do you beat for me? Heartbeat surges with ecstasy. Anxiety feels my destiny.
I think here's what I had on Miladies. So that's what I had on the chart. I'll go ahead and put it over in the trading group. Let's see if we can just levels to keep in mind, huh? Oh, you're welcome, Anita. Just want to make sure that it's posted and could be seen. I didn't know that it was blacked out. I think it was something in my OBS.
Search a spark in a midnight veil, thrill ignites. I can't curtail, price twists wild, a dancer's flare. My pulse races in the midnight air. Session grips, a lover's snare, wealth's allure pulls me to dare. A flicker burns in the shadowed play. I'm hooked on chaos night and day. Cryptic surge, do you call my name?
Bitcoin seems to be losing a trend line. 6 minute time frame. Lost it. It's coming down for a little bit.
Oh, cryptic surge.
Might be heading back toward 104 or 100. Oh crap, you did it again.
In the market spin, uncertainty cuts through my skin. Each leaf
Keep my eye on this area right here.
my senses free. All coins
Might not be anything
in a twisted play.
too bad. Maybe more range than anything, but
Cryptic surge, do you call my name? Heartbeat thrashes in a wild flame. Excitement stokes my fever game. Oh, cryptic surge.
by the way, your chat replays are disabled, so if someone sees the lives later, chat. Oh, really? Why is all this stuff changing? Should be a default setting for live. I thought I had it all set. I guess I'll have to do that. Thanks for the heads up on that. See if I can take care of that tonight. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Trade carefully. The weekend is coming, so whale games are going to start. And I am mostly taking it easy and just trying to take profits where I can off of altcoins until we start seeing more of what they're planning on doing and where this market's going to go. But look for the whale games. It could get fun. We'll see you tomorrow.